And what is that confidence like? He describes it this way, verse 14. And this is the confidence that we have toward him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. That's the confidence. The confidence at the basic level is that the child of God can go to God. Right? No matter what, you can go to the Father. And when you say, God, I want to pray according to your will, I want what you want, when you do that, you can know that you're being heard by God. Okay? This is the confidence that you have. You always have the Father's ear. There's a story that illustrates this pretty well. When Ruthie was about 3 years old, I had an opportunity to preach at my old church, Eastern Presbyterian Church. And my Korean is bad now. It was a lot worse then. And I was preaching in Korean to these very stoic looking, you know how Korean people can be very expressionless, right? And they were all sitting there. There should have been, I think there was at least a couple of hundred people filling that hall. And that hall itself could fill up to 700 people. And so it was a very big place. I would say it was a good 4 times as long as this place and at least 3 times as wide as this place. And so I got up to a pulpit that looks like this, but about 4 times larger than this pulpit. And I was preaching, and to my horror, Ruthie was in the back, and she saw me. And to further my horror, she started walking up the aisle. And to my horrific terror, she got up to the stage. She got up in front of the pulpit. And then she looked at me, smiled. She turned around, looked at the hundreds of people, and started dancing. And if you know anything about Ruthie, she's not this, I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to do whatever I want to brave kind of kid. She's not. She's got a certain spunkiness about her, but she's not brave as such. She's scared of a lot of things. Then how is it that my scaredy cat daughter, and almost every night I pray for her, let Ruthie not be afraid. How is it that she had the courage to come and do this in front of everybody, many of whom she'd never met before? She was in the back. She saw that Daddy was in the front. She says, I'm going to where Daddy is. I think that was her thinking. I'm sure she had to think something, right? Because she never did that when the senior pastor was there. She never did that when all the other intern pastors were there. She only did it when I was there. Because I was there, she could be there, you see? And that's the kind of access that you and I have. Yes, God is the creator of the universe. Yes, God is the sovereign of every molecule that exists in creation. But you know what? That God, that sovereign, powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent God is your Father. He's your daddy. And He's the one that loves you enough to give His Son for you. And if Jesus is the expression of the Father's heart, He loves you enough to give Himself for you. If He would leave heaven and come and reach around the globe to grab you and to bring you to Himself, of course He hears you when you pray. Whether you feel like He's listening to you or not, loved one, you know that He hears you. You have access to Him.